Welcome to English Stories Academy.
It was a sunny Saturday morning. Lily and her brother Tom lived in a small town called Greenfield. The town was quiet and surrounded by beautiful green fields and tall trees. The birds were singing and the sky was clear and blue. Lily was 8 years old. She had curly brown hair and big, curious eyes. She loved reading books and learning about animals. Tom was 6 years old. He had short blonde hair and a playful smile. He loved playing outside and taking pictures with his toy camera. Today was a special day for Lily and Tom. They were going to the zoo for the first time. They had been talking about this trip for weeks and had even marked the day on their calendar with a big red circle. Their mother had planned the trip carefully. She had packed a picnic basket with sandwiches, fruits, and juice. She also included a map of the zoo and a small guidebook about the animals they would see. Lily and Tom each had a small backpack. Lily packed her favorite book about animals, and Tom packed his toy camera and a notebook to write about the animals. "Are you ready to go to the zoo?" their mother asked with a smile. "Yes!" shouted Lily and Tom together. They could hardly wait to see all the animals. As they left their house, Lily and Tom held hands and skipped down the street. They were full of excitement and curiosity. They wondered what animals they would see and what fun things they would learn. The zoo was in the nearby city, and they would take the bus to get there. The bus stop was just a short walk from their house. At the bus stop, they met their neighbor, Mr. Brown, who was also going to the city. "Good morning, Lily and Tom. Where are you headed today?" he asked. "We are going to the zoo," they replied excitedly. The bus arrived, and they found seats near the window. As the bus drove through the town and then the countryside, Lily and Tom looked out the window and saw farms, rivers, and more trees. They pointed out everything they saw to each other. Their mother explained the plan for the day. "First, we will visit the giraffes, then the elephants, and then we will see the lions. After that, we can have our picnic lunch and explore more of the zoo." Lily and Tom listened carefully and nodded. They wanted to make sure they saw everything. The bus ride felt long because they were so excited, but finally they saw the big sign for the zoo in the distance. They could already hear the sounds of animals and the laughter of other children. Lily and Tom's excitement grew as the bus stopped in front of the zoo. They grabbed their backpacks and followed their mother off the bus. The adventure was about to begin. Lily and Tom were up early the next morning, their excitement bubbling over like a pot of water on the stove. The day had finally arrived for their much-anticipated trip to the zoo. The sun had barely risen, and the sky was painted in soft shades of pink and orange. Birds chirped cheerfully outside their window, almost as if they were singing a special song just for Lily and Tom. Lily and Tom began their preparations with great enthusiasm. Their mother had laid out their clothes the night before, comfortable shorts, t-shirts, and sturdy sneakers perfect for a day of walking. Lily chose her favorite pink t-shirt with a picture of a giraffe on it, while Tom opted for his blue shirt with a lion roaring on the front. "Don't forget to brush your teeth," their mother called from the kitchen, where she was busy packing their lunch. Lily and Tom raced to the bathroom, giggling as they brushed their teeth side by side. Once they were dressed and ready, Lily and Tom each grabbed their small backpacks. They had packed the night before, making sure they had everything they needed for their zoo adventure. Lily's backpack contained her favorite book about animals, a notebook for jotting down interesting facts, and a set of colored pencils for drawing the animals they saw. Tom's backpack was filled with his toy camera, a small notebook, and a couple of his favorite toy cars, just in case he needed a break from all the walking. Their mother finished packing the picnic basket and placed it on the kitchen table. It was filled with delicious sandwiches, fresh fruit, crunchy vegetables, and bottles of water to keep them hydrated throughout the day. She also packed a few treats, like chocolate chip cookies and a small bag of pretzels, as a special surprise for the kids. "Let's make sure we have everything," their mother said, checking the list she had made. "Sandwiches, water, camera, notebooks, pencils, and a map of the zoo. I think we're all set." "Don't forget the sunscreen, Mom," Lily reminded her. "We don't want to get sunburned." "Good point, Lily," her mother replied, grabbing the bottle of sunscreen from the counter and adding it to the picnic basket. "Now, let's plan our route to the zoo." Their mother spread out a large map of the city on the kitchen table. She pointed out the route they would take from their house to the bus stop, and then from the bus stop to the zoo. Lily and Tom listened carefully, nodding as their mother explained each step of the journey. "We'll take the number 5 bus from here," their mother said, pointing to their street on the map. "It will take us straight to the city. The zoo is just a short walk from the bus station." Lily and Tom's eyes widened with excitement. They loved taking the bus. It was always an adventure to see new places and people along the way. "Do we have our bus tickets?" Tom asked, always the practical one. "Yes, Tom," their mother replied with a smile, holding up the tickets for them to see. "We're all set. Now let's get going." They left the house, the picnic basket in their mother's hand, and their backpacks securely on their shoulders. The air was fresh and cool, and the sun was beginning to warm the day. As they walked to the bus stop, Lily and Tom chatted excitedly about the animals they hoped to see. "I can't wait to see the giraffes," Lily said. "They're so tall and graceful." "I'm excited to see the lions," Tom replied. "They're the kings of the jungle." When they reached the bus stop, they found a few other people waiting as well. There was Mr. Brown, their friendly neighbor, who was also headed to the city for the day. He smiled and waved when he saw them. "Good morning, Lily and Tom. Off to the zoo today, are you?" Mr. Brown asked. "Yes, Mr. Brown," they replied in unison. "We can't wait to see all the animals." The bus arrived right on time, and the doors opened with a friendly hiss. Lily and Tom boarded first, followed by their mother and Mr. Brown. The bus driver greeted them with a smile and wished them a fun day at the zoo. Lily and Tom found seats near the window so they could watch the world go by as they traveled. Their mother sat beside them, making sure they were safe and comfortable. The bus started its journey, and they were off. As the bus made its way through the town, Lily and Tom pointed out familiar sights. They passed their school, the local park, and the grocery store, where they often went shopping with their mother. Soon the bus left the town and entered the countryside. The countryside was beautiful, with wide-open fields, grazing cows, and colorful flowers along the roadside. Lily and Tom pressed their noses against the window, taking in all the sights. They saw a farmer on a tractor, waving as they passed by, and a family having a picnic under a big oak tree. "Look, Tom, there's a river," Lily exclaimed, pointing to a sparkling stream that ran alongside the road. "It's so clear and shiny," Tom said, his eyes wide with wonder. Their mother pointed out different landmarks as they traveled. "There's the old windmill," she said, "and over there is the big red barn. We're getting closer to the city now." After a while, they saw the tall buildings of the city in the distance. The bus left the countryside and entered the bustling city streets. Lily and Tom were fascinated by all the activity. There were cars honking, people walking quickly, and tall buildings reaching up to the sky. "We're almost at the bus station," their mother said, checking her watch. "Just a few more minutes." The bus finally arrived at the city bus station. The driver announced their stop, and Lily, Tom, and their mother gathered their things and got off the bus. The city was even more exciting up close, with so many people and sounds all around them. "Stay close to me," their mother said, holding their hands as they made their way through the busy station. They followed the signs that pointed to the zoo, eager to start their adventure. As they walked through the city streets, Lily and Tom saw many interesting things. There were street performers playing music, vendors selling colorful balloons, and shops displaying all sorts of goods in their windows. The smells of fresh bread and coffee wafted through the air, making their stomachs rumble a little. "We'll have our picnic soon," their mother reassured them, noticing their hungry looks. "But first, let's get to the zoo." They followed the signs and soon found themselves at the entrance to the zoo. There was a large gate with a bright, colorful sign that read, "Welcome to the zoo." The entrance was decorated with pictures of animals and balloons, creating a festive atmosphere. Lily and Tom could hardly contain their excitement. They handed their tickets to the friendly attendant at the gate, who stamped their hands with a special zoo stamp. "Enjoy your visit," the attendant said with a smile. As they walked through the gate, they were greeted by the sounds of the zoo. Birds chirped and squawked, monkeys chattered, and the distant roar of a lion could be heard. The air was filled with the scent of flowers and popcorn from a nearby stand. "Where should we go first?" Tom asked, his eyes wide with excitement. "Let's start with the giraffes," their mother suggested, pulling out the map of the zoo. "They're just around the corner." Lily and Tom followed their mother, their eyes darting everywhere as they took in all the sights and sounds. They saw a colorful peacock strutting across the path, its feathers fanned out in a beautiful display. Nearby, a group of children was laughing and pointing at a playful otter swimming in its pond. When they reached the giraffe enclosure, Lily's eyes lit up. The giraffes were even more magnificent in person. They stood tall, their long necks stretching up to the trees as they nibbled on leaves. Lily watched in awe as one of the giraffes bent down to drink from a small pond. "Look at how long their necks are," she exclaimed. "They're amazing." Tom snapped a picture with his toy camera, capturing the moment. "I want to draw a picture of the giraffes later," he said, pulling out his notebook to make a quick sketch. Their mother read a sign near the enclosure. "Did you know that giraffes can run up to 35 miles per hour?" she said. "That's really fast." "Wow!" Lily and Tom said together. They spent a few more minutes watching the giraffes before moving on to the next exhibit. Next, they visited the elephant enclosure. The elephants were enormous, with thick, wrinkled skin and long trunks. One of the elephants was using its trunk to spray water on its back, cooling off in the warm sun. "The elephant's trunk is like a big, flexible nose," their mother explained. It can be used to drink water, pick up food, and even greet other elephants. Tom watched in fascination as an elephant used its trunk to pick up a log and move it across the enclosure. "They're so strong," he said. Lily took out her notebook and wrote down a few facts about the elephants. "I want to remember everything we learned today," she said, her eyes shining with excitement. As they continued their journey through the zoo, Lily and Tom saw many more animals. They visited the lion's den, where a majestic lion lay basking in the sun. Its golden mane shimmered in the light, and Tom couldn't help but feel a bit of awe. "The lion is the king of the jungle," their mother told them. When they arrived at the zoo, Lily and Tom saw a big gate with a sign that said, "Welcome to the zoo." The entrance was bustling with families and children, all eager to start their own adventures. The air was filled with the cheerful sound of birds singing and the excited chattering of monkeys. The aroma of popcorn and cotton candy wafted through the air, adding to the festive atmosphere. Lily and Tom handed their tickets to the friendly attendant at the gate, who stamped their hands with a special zoo stamp. "Enjoy your visit," the attendant said with a smile. As they walked through the gate, they were immediately immersed in the lively environment of the zoo. Colorful banners hung from the lamp posts, each one featuring a different animal. There were maps available at the entrance, and their mother grabbed one to help navigate their way through the zoo. "Where should we go first?" Tom asked, his eyes wide with excitement. "Let's start with the giraffes," their mother suggested, looking at the map. "They're just around the corner." Lily and Tom eagerly followed their mother, their eyes darting everywhere as they took in all the sights and sounds. They passed a small pond where ducks were swimming and children were feeding them bits of bread. Nearby, a group of peacocks strutted around, their iridescent feathers shimmering in the sunlight. When they reached the giraffe enclosure, Lily's eyes lit up. The giraffes were even more magnificent in person. They stood tall, their long necks stretching up to the trees as they nibbled on leaves. Lily watched in awe as one of the giraffes bent down to drink from a small pond. "Look, Tom, the giraffes have long necks," said Lily, pointing excitedly. Tom took a picture with his camera, capturing the moment. "They're so tall. I can't believe how long their necks are," he said. Their mother read a sign near the enclosure. "Did you know that a giraffe's neck can be up to 6 feet long? And they have the same number of neck bones as humans. 7, she said. "Wow," Lily and Tom said together. They spent a few more minutes watching the giraffes before moving on to the next exhibit. Next, they went to see the elephants. The elephants were enormous, with thick, wrinkled skin and long trunks. One of the elephants was using its trunk to spray water on its back, cooling off in the warm sun. "The elephant has a long trunk. It uses the trunk to drink water," their mother explained. Tom watched in fascination as an elephant used its trunk to pick up a log and move it across the enclosure. "They're so strong," he said. Lily took out her notebook and wrote down a few facts about the elephants. "I want to remember everything we learned today," she said, her eyes shining with excitement. As they continued their journey through the zoo, Lily and Tom saw many more animals. They visited the lion's den, where a majestic lion lay basking in the sun. Its golden mane shimmered in the light, and Tom couldn't help but feel a bit of awe. "The lion is the king of the jungle," their mother told them. "A lion's roar can be heard from up to 5 miles away." Just then, the lion let out a loud roar. Tom was a little scared, but Lily held his hand. "It's okay, Tom. The lion is just saying hello," she said reassuringly. Tom nodded, feeling a bit braver with Lily by his side. He took another picture with his camera, wanting to capture the powerful moment. They moved on to the next exhibit, which featured a playful group of monkeys. The monkeys swung from branch to branch, chattering and playing with each other. Lily and Tom laughed as one of the monkeys picked up a small stick and pretended it was a microphone, making funny noises as if it were singing. "The monkeys are so funny," Lily said, giggling. Their mother pointed out different types of monkeys in the enclosure. "There are many kinds of monkeys here. Look at that one with the long tail. It's a spider monkey, and that small one over there is a capuchin monkey." Lily wrote down the names of the monkeys in her notebook, drawing little pictures next to each one. Tom took more photos, capturing the playful antics of the monkeys. Next, they visited the penguin exhibit. The penguins were waddling around on the rocks and swimming gracefully in the water. Lily and Tom watched in delight as the penguins dived into the water and zoomed around, their sleek bodies cutting through the water with ease. "Penguins are such good swimmers," Tom said, impressed. "Did you know that penguins can swim up to 15 miles per hour?" their mother asked. "And they can stay underwater for up to 20 minutes?" Lily wrote down these interesting facts in her notebook. "I want to remember everything about the penguins," she said. They continued their exploration, visiting the reptile house next. Inside, it was cool and dimly lit, with glass enclosures housing various snakes, lizards, and turtles. Lily and Tom were fascinated by the colorful patterns on the snakes and the slow, deliberate movements of the turtles. "Look at that snake, Tom! It's so long!" Lily exclaimed, pointing to a python that was coiled up in its enclosure. "The python can grow up to 30 feet long," their mother said, reading the information on a nearby sign. "It's one of the largest snakes in the world." Tom took a picture of the python, marveling at its size. "I think snakes are cool," he said. After the reptile house, they visited the aviary, where they saw a variety of colorful birds. The aviary was a large open space filled with trees, flowers, and small streams. Birds of all shapes and sizes flew freely around them, chirping and singing. "Look at all the beautiful birds," Lily said, her eyes wide with wonder. Their mother pointed out different species of birds. "There's a toucan with its bright beak, and over there is a parrot with its colorful feathers. And look at that tiny hummingbird sipping nectar from a flower." Lily and Tom spent a long time in the aviary, watching the birds and listening to their songs. Lily sketched a few of the birds in her notebook, trying to capture their vibrant colors with her colored pencils. Tom took more photos, hoping to remember this magical place. As they walked through the zoo, they came across a small petting zoo area. There were goats, sheep, rabbits, and even a pony. Lily and Tom were excited to get up close to the animals and pet them. Lily gently petted a soft, fluffy rabbit. "It's so cute and soft," she said, smiling. Tom fed some grass to a friendly goat who nibbled it eagerly from his hand. "This is so much fun," he said, laughing. After spending some time at the petting zoo, they decided it was time for their picnic lunch. They found a shady spot under a large tree where they spread out a blanket and unpacked their picnic basket. Lily and Tom enjoyed their sandwiches, fruit, and juice. The fresh air and excitement of the zoo had made them hungry, and they devoured their food with gusto. Their mother handed them each a chocolate chip cookie as a special treat. "This is the best picnic ever," Tom said, munching on his cookie. "Yes, it is," Lily agreed. "I love spending the day at the zoo." After their picnic, they continued exploring the zoo. They visited the kangaroo enclosure, where they watched the kangaroos hop around and rest in the shade. They saw zebras with their striking black and white stripes, and a family of meerkats standing upright, keeping watch. Lily and Tom's favorite part of the day was visiting the aquarium. The aquarium was a large, dark building filled with tanks of all sizes, housing a variety of marine life. They saw colorful fish, graceful stingrays, and even a few sharks. "Look at all the fish, Tom," Lily said, pressing her face against the glass of one of the tanks. "That fish is so bright and colorful," Tom said, pointing to a clownfish swimming among the coral. Their mother pointed out a large tank with a sea turtle swimming gracefully through the water. "Sea turtles can live for a very long time, sometimes over 100 years," she said. Lily and Tom were fascinated by the jellyfish exhibit. The jellyfish floated gently in the water, their tentacles trailing behind them like delicate ribbons. The tank was illuminated with soft, changing colors, making the jellyfish look even more magical. "They look like they're glowing," Tom said in awe. After spending a long time in the aquarium, they visited the butterfly garden. The garden was filled with colorful flowers and fluttering butterflies. Lily and Tom carefully walked through the garden, trying not to disturb the delicate butterflies. "Look at all the butterflies, Tom. They're so beautiful," Lily said, holding out her hand as a butterfly landed on her finger. Tom gently touched the butterfly's wing. "It's so light and soft," he said. As the day went on, they visited the last few exhibits, including the hippos, rhinos, and a special exhibit about nocturnal animals. They learned about animals that were active at night, like owls, bats, and even some types of frogs. By the end of the day, Lily and Tom were tired, but very happy. They had seen so many amazing animals and learned a lot of interesting facts. They had filled their notebooks with notes and drawings, and Tom had taken many photos with his camera. As they made their way back to the entrance of after walking for a long time, Lily and Tom felt hungry. Their feet were tired, and their excitement had given way to hunger pangs. They found a shaded bench near a flower garden and decided it was the perfect spot to take a break. Lily and Tom opened their backpacks and took out their sandwiches. They also had some fresh fruit and water bottles to keep them hydrated. As they ate, they talked about all the amazing animals they had seen so far. "The giraffes were so tall and graceful," Lily said, taking a bite of her sandwich. "And the elephants were so strong," Tom added, munching on an apple slice. "I really liked the monkeys, too. They were so funny." Their mother smiled, happy to see them enjoying their day. "I'm glad you're having such a good time. Once we finish our lunch, we can head to the birdhouse. It's supposed to be really amazing with lots of colorful birds." After they finished their lunch and packed up their things, they started walking again. But soon, they realized that they didn't recognize where they were. The paths looked unfamiliar, and the landmarks they had seen earlier were nowhere to be found. "Mom, I think we're lost," Tom said, looking around worriedly. Lily tried to stay calm, but she was starting to feel anxious too. I don't know where we are either. How are we going to find the birdhouse? Their mother took out the map they had been using earlier, but it seemed confusing now. Let's not panic, she said reassuringly. We'll figure this out. Just then, Lily noticed a zookeeper nearby, feeding some birds in an enclosure. She remembered her mother's advice about asking for help when needed. Excuse me, can you help us find the way to the birdhouse? She asked politely, approaching the zookeeper. The zookeeper, a friendly woman with a kind smile, turned to them. Of course. Let me take a look at your map, she said. Lily handed the map to the zookeeper, who quickly found their current location. You're not too far off, just a little turned around, she said. The birdhouse is actually just a short walk from here. If you go straight down this path and then take a left at the next junction, you'll see it on your right. Thank you so much, Lily said, feeling relieved. You're welcome, the zookeeper replied. Enjoy the rest of your visit. With the zookeeper's directions, Lily, Tom, and their mother found their way to the birdhouse without any further trouble. As they approached, they could hear the cheerful chirping and singing of birds. Inside the birdhouse, they were greeted by a stunning display of colorful birds from all over the world. Parrots, canaries, toucans, and many other species flew freely in the large, netted enclosure. The air was filled with their vibrant colors and melodious sounds. This place is amazing, Tom said, his eyes wide with wonder. Lily took out her notebook and began sketching some of the birds she saw. I'm so glad we found our way, she said, smiling at her mother. Their mother nodded, proud of how they had handled the situation. Sometimes we might face challenges, but there's always a solution if we stay calm and ask for help when we need it. Lily and Tom spent a long time in the birdhouse, admiring the beautiful birds and learning about their habitats and behaviors. They were grateful for the zookeeper's help and felt a sense of accomplishment for overcoming their challenge. The rest of their day at the zoo was filled with more fun and learning, and they made sure to always check their map to stay on track. Lily and Tom had a wonderful time at the zoo. They saw many animals and learned a lot. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the zoo, they made their way to the exit. They had filled their day with excitement, discovery, and a few challenges, but it had been an unforgettable adventure. My favorite animal is the giraffe, said Lily, recalling the elegant creatures with their long necks reaching up to the treetops. I like the elephants, said Tom, thinking about the massive animals with their playful trunks and gentle eyes. Their mother smiled, pleased with how much they had enjoyed the day. You both learned so much today. I'm proud of you. On their way back home, they talked about their favorite parts of the day. Lily couldn't stop talking about the birdhouse and the beautiful birds she had sketched. Tom was excited to share the photos he had taken of the lions, monkeys, and especially the elephants. I can't wait to show my friends these pictures, Tom said, flipping through the photos on his camera. And I want to add more drawings to my notebook, Lily added, thinking about all the animals she wanted to remember. As they boarded the bus back to their small town, they felt a wave of exhaustion wash over them. Their feet were tired, and their eyes were heavy, but their hearts were full of happiness. Today was the best, Tom said, leaning his head against the window and watching the city lights blur by. Yes, it was, Lily agreed, resting her head on her mother's shoulder. "We should go on more adventures like this." Their mother kissed the top of their heads. "There are so many places to explore and things to learn. We will definitely have more adventures." As the bus drove on, the gentle rocking motion lulled them into a peaceful sleep. They dreamed of giraffes, elephants, and all the wonderful animals they had seen at the zoo. The day's memories played in their minds like a happy movie, filled with laughter, learning, and the joy of discovery. When they arrived home, their father was waiting for them. He helped carry their bags and listened eagerly as they recounted their day. "It sounds like you had an amazing time," he said, smiling at their enthusiasm. "We did, Dad. We saw so many animals and learned a lot," Lily said, showing him her notebook filled with drawings and notes. "And I took lots of pictures," Tom added, holding up his camera proudly. As they settled in for the night, they felt grateful for the day's experiences. Lily placed her notebook on her bedside table, and Tom set his camera down carefully, ready to share his photos with everyone. They climbed into bed, their minds buzzing with excitement for future adventures. "I can't wait for our next adventure," said Tom, snuggling under his blanket. "Me neither," Lily agreed, closing her eyes with a contented smile. Their mother tucked them in and turned off the light. "Good night, my little explorers. Sweet dreams." With that, Lily and Tom drifted off to sleep, dreaming of new places to explore and new animals to discover. They knew that there were many more adventures waiting for them, and they couldn't wait to see what the future would bring. In their hearts, they carried the joy and wonder of their day at the zoo, a day that had sparked their curiosity and ignited their love for learning. It was a day they would always remember, a day that had shown them the beauty of the natural world and the excitement of discovery. And as they slept, they dreamt of all the adventures yet to come.
Like, share, and subscribe to our channel.